Hello, everyone. This is Angela McAfee with SEO Rocket. We're about to get started. Thank you for joining us today. Just while we're here, I wanted to go over a couple little housekeeping things that we always do. Just remember, you are here for what you need to know about customer reviews. You can probably see that on the screen, so you're in the right place. You are joining us today in what we call listen only mode. I'm sure you're familiar with that if you're a regular webinar attendee, which means that we can't hear you, but of course you hopefully can hear us. Also too, we love your questions, and this is your opportunity to ask the expert. So please, while you're here today, go to that little questions chat box, text box in your dashboard and ask away any questions you have today while you have Zane as your captive expert. Zane Tuck here. He can answer those questions for you. You don't have to hold them to the end. You can answer them at any time. However, you can ask them rather any time. However, we will answer them at the end. So be sure to get those in, and of course, stick around for the answers. And speaking of sticking around, please stay tuned for some fun offers at the end. SEO Rocket is offering a lot of different resources and things this year as sort of part of our giving back to the business community, because we all need that. We all need to give each other love and help and support. So we are adding to our resources list fairly regularly these days, not only with our webinars and our blogs, but some offerings that we're putting out there. So we're going to discuss those later. So stick around for that. Also, too, one more thing, and then we'll get started. We put these webinars together for you. So if there are any marketing subjects that you would like to talk about or learn more about, please feel free to type those into the little super brief 2-question survey that we have at the end of this webinar. That is your opportunity to pop that in there and let us know about some topic that you would like for us to discuss and go over, and either internally or bring in someone else, have a chat about, because we really do these things for you. They're based on the frequently asked questions that we get and the information we know that's extremely important to share with you. So please do that, and we will do our best to cover the subjects that you want. I mean, we have 12 months, right? So let's do that. All right, it looks like it's 11:02, and a lot of you have already logged in, so I'm going to get started. Once again, I'm Angela McAfee with SEO Rocket. I'm one of the founders here, and today we have with us Zane Tuck. You can see him, his smiling face. Zane is our SEO specialist, one of our SEO specialists at SEO Rocket. He also is the leader of our RocketReviews program. And with that, I call him, he's our in-house master of all things reviews. We can say that about him to his face and behind his back, by the way, and to y'all, obviously. So anyway, he's here today to help us and help you walk through all these things, the good and the bad, and all the things you need to understand about your reviews and creating a review system for yourself. I mean, I talk about frequently asked questions. Many people, when they contact us about digital marketing, they'll say things like, yeah, my reviews are, it's kind of, we need to do that, or we're not doing that yet, or yeah, we need to do a system there, or our competitor has all these reviews but we don't. Maybe I need to up my review game a little, but I'm not sure how to do it yet, right? We hear that a lot. So I really applaud each of you for being here today and listening in, taking this time, because when you I encourage you to take the next step. Really make your reviews an important part of your marketing plan, an important part of your business processes, daily. And if you do that, I guarantee you it's going to be a game changer for you. It's going to be a game changer for your visibility online, and also too for your conversion. We talk about those things a lot, the visibility, because guess what? Google really likes reviews. And also your prospects, people who are considering buying a product or service from you, they really like reviews. I mean, how many times have you purchased something lately online or researched it online that you didn't read the reviews. I mean, we always do it. It's a part of our lifestyle now. It's just that technology is completely incorporated in our buying decisions these days. So it is so important. That's why I have Zane here with us today. And Zane, thank you so much for being here.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So Zane has a lot of awesome things to share with you. So I'm gonna zip it and get go off camera and let Zane. I'm gonna just let you roll when you are ready.
I'm ready. Thank you, Angela. It's good to be here today, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about something that's really kind of a passion of mine. I do, as Angela said, I'm one of the local SEO specialists here, but the thing that I really enjoy working with is reviews and helping our customers get more reviews and handle their reviews the right way. So let's jump right into our presentation today, which is what you need to know about customer reviews. And so what we will do, here's our agenda for today. We will go over why reviews matter. We're going to talk about why reviews matter in today's marketplace. Next, we'll go over some ways on how you can get reviews if you don't have any, or if you do have some reviews, but you want to get more. We can talk about how to get more reviews. We'll talk about the importance of monitoring incoming reviews, and then we'll wrap up with responding to reviews, why it's important, and some do's and don'ts related to responding to reviews. So first, we're going to talk about why reviews matter. And the first reason that reviews matter is that reviews help your business's online visibility. When you search for a business, it's not going to take you long to find what others have to say about it. It's probably going to be one of the first things they see. Google takes review ratings from multiple sites into consideration when they determine the order of businesses that show up in the local search results. As you can see on this screen here, the image on the left, if you have an iPhone or an iPad, when you ask Siri, find me a pizza restaurant, in the black screenshot on the left, you've got 3 pizza locations listed, 3 pizza restaurants, and reviews are prominently shown in with the address and the distance, the star average and the total number of reviews. Then when you go to, if you're in Apple Maps and you search for pizza or a hair salon or a coffee shop, and you see all those little pins and you tap on one, it will give you driving time, the name of the location, and it will tell you how many stars and how many reviews. Now, Apple has partnered with Yelp, so they use reviews. They show the reviews from Yelp. On the right is a screenshot from Google Maps, the desktop version. And so somebody looking for best allergy doctor in Alpharetta, which is a suburb of Atlanta in Georgia. So the reviews the listings that are served up, this first one, it shows the average review score, how many total reviews, prominent right under the name of the business, or in this case, the name of the doctor. As you can also see in this image, text from a review that a patient wrote that matches what this person searched for are bolded. So best doctor, that's bolded out to best doctor to go for your allergy. So those 3 words that appeared in the search query are bolded, and so Google will pull that part of that review out and put it in the search result there. And as you can see in the second one, allergy testing quick and efficient. So, that also is a match. So, but this one is bolded because you've got 3 of your 5, really 4, because in is not really one of the major query words. So 3 of those 4 words are bolded because they all appear in that one review. Now, according to most industry experts, online reviews and the location of the searcher influence local search engine visibility more than anything else. And in things that I've seen with our clients and in looking at other businesses, that that definitely rings true. Reviews matter. They help get your business in front of more eyes. Reviews and review sites, they play a part in your overall web presence, because you've got your other information out there, your business name, your address, your phone number. So those are places that, we've talked before about making sure that name, address, and phone number are NAP, that's correct and consistent. And part of that is making sure that it's right on these other review sites like, TripAdvisor if you're a bed and breakfast or a restaurant, or Open Table if you're a restaurant. Those third-party sites, you want your prospects, your customers to have a good experience with you no matter where they're interacting or trying to interact with your business. So keeping your name, address, and phone number consistent not only presents that consistent presence for your consumers, but it can also help your business rank better in the search results. So again, here's the Apple, from Siri, and we'll show again. There's the result from Google. And so the next reason why reviews matter is that reviews impact purchasing decisions. Angela touched on this briefly. People who leave reviews, they've really got nothing to gain or lose. They had an experience, good or bad, or sometimes indifferent, but usually people that, don't really feel one way or the other usually won't post a review or post their feedback about it. But most customers had an experience, good or bad, and they want to share it. And people listen to that. This graphic here is from the most recent local consumer review survey from Bright Local. And it shows that 79% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations from friends or family. These days word of mouth comes from all kinds of places, comes from outside the consumer's social circle. And with an online review having a ripple of a happy or an unhappy customer's peers. Positive reviews have a big impact on consumers. According to their survey, 94% say that positive reviews make them more likely to use a business. Reviews with a high star rating, positive sentiment, have a significant impact on a consumer's decision whether or not to use a business. So it's vitally important to make sure that your reviews, that you're getting reviews and that you're asking for reviews. And on the flip side, as you can see in the middle bar, the middle section, negative reviews that make customers more likely to not use a business, that number increased to 92%. So, a consistent, or in a lot of cases, a recent history of negative reviews, because like when you go on Google or you go on Yelp or go on any of these review sites, you can sort by most recent, because a bad review from 2 years ago, doesn't hold as much weight as a bad review from last week. And so, in the mind of a consumer, because a lot of things can happen in 2 years versus if, if it's a restaurant and there's people consistently posting about, long wait times, cold food, rude waiters, that type of thing. And if that's recent, that's going to weigh on a decision that a customer makes as to whether they want to go eat at that restaurant. So the takeaway here is that reviews, both positive and negative, are very important to local business. And as we talked briefly, I just kind of mentioned it a second ago, the third reason why reviews matter is that they provide important feedback. So here's an example of a review on Google for a restaurant. And so this person, Abigail, wrote, waited a long time, open seats were visible, the hostess and waitress were efficient, but curt, nice big patio, but it wasn't open. And then a quick comment about how the guacamole was fresh, but it was heavy on the onion. So, there's a lot that you can learn from a review that somebody leaves for your business. What do they love about your business? What are they not so crazy about? Paying attention to your reviews helps you do more of the good and less of the bad. And so I'll just say this right here, and I'll probably mention it again later. Negative reviews aren't always a bad thing. You can see if there's a common theme, like I mentioned before. If you're a restaurant and you're getting reviews from people saying that, the food keeps coming out cold, or, this particular server was rude. You can look for common themes in those negative reviews. Maybe people have a hard time getting a hold of you, or they're finding bad information about you, or they're just receiving slow service. Or so like in this instance here, it could be that a sous chef doesn't have the guacamole recipe nailed down just yet. So regardless, negative reviews can help you discover and fix issues before they become a bigger problem. And of course, with positive reviews, you can confidently market what you find to be most popular with your customers. So how do you get more reviews? I like this meme here. Please, sir, I want some more. And I think every business owner would like more reviews, both good and bad. So how do you get more reviews? You just have to ask. You've got to ask customers for reviews. You don't want to leave it up to the customer. Yes, you got to ask for more reviews. It's up to you to ask every customer you have to leave a review. You can have ways for customers to leave reviews on their own, but don't depend on the customer to instinctively leave one for your business. Many times people tend to take initiative and leave reviews if the service or product was really good or if it was really bad. Like we said, people who were kind of indifferent or had an okay experience, they're not that likely to, on their own, leave a review. But you should ask every customer, and there's lots of ways to do that, but you should be asking every customer to leave feedback. And by doing that, you're increasing the likelihood of getting more of those people who don't fall into either the really great experience or really bad experience to leave you feedback. And as with anything, there's a wrong way and a right way to do things. And asking for reviews is no different. So let's go over some of the wrong ways to ask for reviews. First off, don't offer a script or a template for customers to use. Some businesses have tried, they feel like, some people may say, I don't know what to say when I write a review. And so some businesses feel like they're helping by offering a script or a template for customers to use in their feedback. Some businesses have basically even said, here's a few examples of great reviews. Just take one of these and kind of make it your own. Well, this is bad idea number one, and it can go bad and go wrong in a number of ways. First off, your reviews will begin to look and sound exactly the same. And if that happens, it'll trigger a lot of these review platforms to flag your profile or maybe even delete it. And by doing that, by offering a script or a template, you don't really get to hear what your customers really have to say about your business. You want that unfiltered, unedited opinion. You don't want to use a legal term, you don't want to kind of lead the witness here. You don't want to, try to get them to say what you want them to say. It's unethical and it could damage your business's reputation. The second bullet, don't offer incentives for leaving a review. Offering discounts, free products, gift cards, or straight up payment might seem like a great way to get more people to leave feedback about your business. But the problem is that any review or feedback that you get in exchange for something like that could be seen as tainted, or consumers may not feel that they can really be honest in providing their feedback. And also in a lot of locations, it's illegal. So offering incentives is bad idea number two, and it beats the pants off of bad idea number one. Most review platforms strictly forbid incentivizing reviews, and that's what this is called, incentivizing. And if they discover that, they'll remove them and could perhaps even remove your entire profile on the site, or if we're talking about Google, they could remove your business from Google My Business if they feel like something fishy like that's going on. So don't ever offer any kind of quid pro quo types of things in exchange for a review. The third point, don't ask all of your customers at once. So maybe you've got a database of all of your customers, and you want to send out a mass email to all of them saying, all right, we're gonna ask all of our customers to leave us a review. And that's in theory, that sounds like a great idea, but the result usually ends up being that too many reviews appear over a short period of time. And if that happens, readers, but even more, the different platforms, the different review services, that may throw up a red flag for them. Part of gathering reviews is building trust. So instead, make it part of your practice to ask for reviews on a regular basis, so you get this constant trickle of feedback rather than a flood of feedback now and then nothing for a short period of time and then another flood of feedback. Places like Google and Yelp and TripAdvisor and all those types of review sites, they like to see the steady flow of reviews coming in. These platforms take note when a business gets too many reviews at the same time. They might even hold those reviews in the queue and not display them because they may give off the impression that they're not legitimate. And the last point, don't spam your customer base. Don't repeatedly ask your customers about leaving a review. And primarily we're talking, via email or via text if you've got a system set up to do that. Asking your customers continuously and repeatedly about leaving a review could come off as pestering them or spamming them. And you don't want to upset your customers. So, send out your initial request. If you don't get anything back in a couple days, it's absolutely okay to ask again. But if you don't get a response after that second request, I would wait a week before I send one last request, or, usually if you ask twice and nothing happens, they're probably not going to leave you a review. So you'd be perfectly okay as well, just not asking that customer again. So these are some of the wrong ways. So now that we've kind of covered that, let's talk about the right way to get more reviews. So let's, first off, make it easy. Make it easy for your customer to leave reviews. Your customers don't want to spend a lot of time leaving feedback. As a business, you want to make it easy for them to do this. So if you're emailing customers, be sure to include the link that takes them right to the place where they can leave their review. Or if you're including links to all of your third-party places like Facebook and TripAdvisor or OpenDoor or OpenTable, all of those things, only include one or two, the ones that are most relevant to your company. Another easy way is if you have their cell number, you can send a request via text messaging, SMS messaging with the link, and then your customer can just tap that link straight to where they can leave the review from their phone. By making the process easy, you reduce the risk of customers giving up partway through the process. Because if it's long, drawn out, takes a long time, they may start it because they really want to leave you feedback, but then, they get part of the way through and they get frustrated or they get fed up with how long it's taking and they just give up, and you don't want that to happen. Next, make it a company initiative. In my experience, the businesses that are the most successful in getting reviews are the ones that have made asking for reviews part of their internal process. Whether it's a passive mode, such as setting up a tablet by the cash register so that customers can leave quick feedback as they are paying and checking out, an active method such as sending emails to your customers, a couple days or a day or two after they've done business with you, or some combination of both, active and passive. Making asking for reviews a part of your process is one of the simplest things that a business can do to increase the number of reviews that it gets. Not having a standard review process is like a restaurant where each line cook makes a dish differently. You may have, people may order the fettuccine Alfredo with chicken, but some people get a fettuccine Alfredo, but others may not because the different cooks, some cooks don't, they don't want to add the cream, or they add a different type of cheese. They change the way things should be done, and so not every customer gets the same experience. And so when it comes to asking for reviews, you want to have everybody on board, everybody doing the same thing, so that if that's asking a customer when they're paying, when they're checking out, you make sure that every employee is doing that, and that people aren't skipping that because they're not comfortable asking, or they don't feel like doing it, or they think it's stupid. Set that internal process and set that expectation that every customer is going to get asked to leave a review. You can put links everywhere. If you've got a direct link to where someone can leave a review for you, this is a little bit more of a passive way of asking for reviews, but it goes back to that first point of making it easy. Just a few places. You can put a link in your email signature. I've got one in mind. Every email that I send out has a link where someone can leave a review for SEO Rocket. On your invoices, if your business is one that sends out invoices on a regular basis, this can be a consistent way of providing a link for your customers or your vendors to leave feedback for your business. You could create a QR code. If you're not sure what a QR code is, it's those square, looks like a pixely graphic, black and white graphic. Those have kind of come back and become more popular over the last few years. They came out, a while ago, and then people stopped using them. And so now they're kind of coming back, now that you don't have to have a special app on your phone to scan it. If you have an iPhone, the camera will notice that it's a QR code and give you a prompt to go to that website. I'm pretty sure that Android phones work the same way. So if you can create a QR code, and so somebody scans that QR code, takes them straight to the place where they can leave a review. And you can put a QR code on anything that you have printed, mailers, postcards. I've seen it where some businesses have put one on their vehicle wrap on a company vehicle. So if you're in your car and you can take your camera, point over to the car next to you and scan that QR code and leave a review. Your boundaries are limited by your imagination when it comes to QR codes. If you can print it, you can put a QR code on it. And if you're a coffee shop, a restaurant, salon, some other type of business with high traffic where people will sit and do business with you, having a tent card on a booth or on your tables with either the QR code that they can scan with their phone, or a code that they can text. Send the word coffee to 12345 to leave us a review. These are great ways to make it easy for customers to leave you feedback. So now that we've talked about what you should do to get reviews and how to get more reviews, when they start coming in, what do you do? So monitoring reviews, that's what we're going to talk about here. Why you should monitor reviews. First off, being able to know what people feel or think about your business can help you make changes or understand why a consumer felt the way they did in that moment. You may not be able to be present every hour that your business is open. Maybe you own a restaurant and people are complaining about speed of service or the server that they had on a certain night. Online reviews can be your eyes and ears, so to speak, when you're not present. Even though you may stumble across a negative review from time to time, at least you're made aware of the situation. So being made aware of any problems is a great reason for making sure you are monitoring your reviews, seeing them when they come in. And on the flip side, reviews also can let you know when you're doing things right. You can gain valuable insight about, maybe a new company policy or procedure, staff, maybe a new hire, from what customers have to say in their feedback. You can learn about the experiences that they have with your business and use it to your advantage. Knowledge is power. really biased consumers. They may be good reviews, bad reviews, and like I said, even occasionally indifferent reviews. But the thing to remember is that, these are honest reviews. This insight from your customer is how they view your business. So it lets you see your business through the eyes of your customers. And it can give you, again, reliable information and give you ideas on what you may need to change or improve on so that you can be better. Because without customers, you wouldn't be in business. So knowing what they really feel can give you an advantage that you need to stay afloat, especially in these tough economic times that, with this pandemic. The last year's really been tough. So monitoring reviews and adjusting how your business operates based on, reviews that come in, can really be helpful. So now that you can ask for review, you know how to ask for reviews and you're monitoring reviews, let's talk about responding to reviews. And what do I do now? What do I do when a review comes in? So first off, we'll talk about responding to negative reviews, because I know a lot of businesses, they're concerned about negative reviews. They're scared about getting them, about how it makes their business look, scared about, should I respond? How do I respond? So my first response is yes, absolutely you should respond. You should respond to every negative review. Don't ignore them. That's the worst thing you could do, is to ignore a negative review. So when you get a negative review, what do? Well, first off, you respond. And what do you do when you respond? First off, say thank you. Show your customers that your business appreciates and values their feedback. Always remember to say thank you in responses. It's a small gesture that can go a long way towards making that customer feel better about you and your business. Next, apologize and sympathize. Saying sorry shows that you care about your customers. It shows that you're human, that they're not getting some canned response. And it also shows that you're not too proud to own up to your mistakes. Even if it's something that may not be your fault, or say sorry anyway. This is one of those times where being the bigger person, it's a great opportunity to establish and strengthen trust between you and your customer. You don't want to get into any kind of back and forth tit for tat match with a customer because of something that happened to them, and you may feel it's not your fault. You don't want to go down that road in a response. So even if it's not your fault, apologize, because this can go a long way. People can turn away from businesses that are too perfect or feel that they're too proud to apologize. So an apology goes a long way. And take responsibility. That's the next point. Take responsibility. Don't make excuses. Even if what happened to that customer was an uncommon instance or an isolated case, or maybe just somebody had a bad day, had an off day, acknowledge the experience that customer had. And at the same time, provide reassurance that you hold yourself to high standards and that's not how your business normally operates. And that is kind of the first step towards this next point of trying to make things right. So when you're dealing with negative feedback, try to avoid cookie cutter responses, that don't resolve or address a specific issue that the customer brought up in the review. Include details about the customer's experience in your response when it's appropriate. And then communicate any changes or improvements you've made or will make as a result of their feedback. If there's nothing you can do to fix what happened, present a compelling response to the reviewer, take ownership of the issue, and promise to make things right in the future. And the last point is to offer to take the issue offline. So it's always best if you and the customer can talk directly about the problem they had, and doing it, on the phone rather than, like I was saying, going back and forth online. It just could save any further issues or embarrassment on the business's side, and it also prevents any interference from outside sources, especially on a platform like Facebook, where your reviews are public, and somebody else may want to jump into the discussion and either try to jump on and provide more negative energy about the issue. So provide direct contact information for customers in your review response. So offer to say, I'd love to talk with you about your experience, and please call us at this number, and I'd love to talk with you. Offer to take the issue offline so that you can try to help make that person feel more satisfied with their situation and how it's being handled. So, those are the things that you should do regarding negative reviews. Now, when you get positive reviews, what should you do as a response? Well, yes, still respond to every review. And yes, say thank you. Show appreciation for that customer who took the time to share their positive experience. We talked about it before. Great reviews, high review ratings it's so powerful for attracting new and potential customers, because like we talked about before, online reviews are trusted as much or more than word of mouth from someone they know. And so it can attract new customers, influence decision making, and your customer really just did you a solid by telling you thank you, telling you how much they appreciated your service, your product, how much of a good time they had doing business with you. And tell customers you can't wait to see them again. You can include that in your response. Say, thank you for coming in and telling us about your experience. We look forward to seeing you again. Especially if somebody writes a review about maybe they came and had dinner at your restaurant on their anniversary. Make note of that in your response, and you can say, we hope you choose to come back and spend your anniversary next year with us. And you can always encourage them to spread the word. And so you can do that in your response, or if you have, some kind of system set up, you can ask them, hey, thank you so much. Would you mind leaving us, feedback on a couple of these other sites on Facebook or on TripAdvisor? So encouraging them to spread the word. And a lot of times you'll find that customers will do that. They'll be glad to do that. And so we've talked a lot today about how to get reviews, how to ask, how to monitor, how to respond. And at SEO Rocket, we have a tool that handles a lot of that for our customers. It's called RocketReviews. And what it does is it monitors review sites, will let you know when you get a review. It will send out reviews if you've got, you can import your customer database into the system, and it will send out requests in that slow drip kind of format, so that, if you import, 500 customers, it won't send requests to all 500 of those customers at one time. It will send out, 10, 15, 20, however many a day, so that, hopefully as people start responding, you get that consistent flow of reviews back into the system. And it works if you've got one location, it works if you've got multiple locations. There's a dashboard where you can quickly see how many reviews, the response rate, the open rate. Regarding emails, you can send reviews via text. I mentioned briefly earlier about a code, like sending the code pizza to number 12345. And what that does when using RocketReviews is it will send them a response with a link that they can tap right there from the text message to leave quick feedback. And then once they leave that feedback, they'll get a notification or get an email asking them to leave a review on these other sites, on Facebook, Google, wherever else that you have these other review platforms where you have a presence. It's got reporting, so you can look and see, how you're doing as far as getting reviews. Are people opening your requests? Are people opening the emails? Are people responding? Are they clicking through to leave reviews on third-party sites? It's very, when you make something like this part of your internal process, and I talked about it before, it almost takes it completely out of your hands, because then as you add customers into the Rocket Review system, it does all the heavy lifting for you. It sends out the requests. It notifies you when you get reviews. It directs the customer to leave the reviews and directs them in the right direction. And so, we've got a link on our website, SEOrocket.com/RocketReviews. You can go there and read more about the system, what it does. You can schedule a free demo with us, and that actually would be with me. I would be walking you through the system, kind of show you how it works, and both from the customer's perspective and from the business owner's perspective, so that you can see how Rocket Reviews can make asking for and getting reviews an easier process. I know we covered a lot of information, so if you've had any questions and have put them in the chat, we can answer them now. If you haven't put them in the chat, you can go ahead and do that now. And as they come in, we can go over those as well, because I think we've got a little bit of time here to answer some questions. So Angela, if we've got any questions from any of the attendees, let's go ahead and start answering some of those.
Yeah, we have a few, and I'm back. I've got my camera up. Yeah, so we actually had a couple, and we'll start. If I already have more reviews than my competitors, should I keep asking for them?
If you already
What
have
say
more?
you think?
Yeah.
If you already have more.
Yeah, you should always keep asking for reviews. Always, 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 and especially if you are a type of business that gets repeat business from customers. So, if you're a restaurant, if you're a coffee shop, if you're a hair salon, someone may have left you a review 2 months ago when they were in, but the review is more about the experience that customer had that time, rather than their overall opinion of you or your business. So yes, absolutely. Ask every time. And, reviews are a numbers game. The more you ask, the more you'll get back. If you're only asking a small percentage of your customers, then the number of reviews you're going to get back is going to be really small. So if you ask 100% of your customers, then if 20% leave you feedback, that's fantastic. But if you reduce the number of customers you're asking, then you're only reducing the number of reviews you're going to get back.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people, a lot of business owners and marketers, we find kind of feel like it's impolite or pushy or too aggressive to ask for a review. But, honestly, if you're in a face-to-face situation with a customer and they, make a remark and give you some feedback about, how you excelled in some way, or gave them great service, something was delicious, you fixed it, or helped them overcome their fears about this specific service, whatever the example may be. If you're right there in front of them and they're having this conversation with you, they're being honest and transparent with you, that is a fantastic time to ask for a review.
Absolutely.
Always.
They've given you the opening to ask them. If they unprovoked are giving you that kind of feedback verbally, then that's your foot in the door to ask them, hey, would you mind leaving us a review online? I can, send you a link in an email. I can text it to you. You know, do whatever you can to make it easy for that person, because they already want to share their feelings about you, and they're doing it face to face. So like I said, you've already got your foot in the door there. Go ahead and ask them. And so to go back to your point about, you know, feeling pushy, when I was talking before about, not to spam your customers, you know, it's okay to ask. It's absolutely okay to ask. You should ask. And it's okay to ask, you know, a couple days later if you don't get a response. But after that one, that's your second request, I would say probably, you know, I wouldn't go a third time. If you don't hear anything after two requests, I think it's pretty safe to say they're not going to leave you feedback. I think if you were to ask a third time, that's where you start getting into the coming across as being pushy, and you definitely don't want to do that. So
Right.
I don't think asking for a review the first time should ever come across as being pushy.
Right. Yeah, I think, you know, right now it's so common. It is, you know, we're talking about technology. It has become such a part of our routine all the time that if we make a purchase or, you know, inquire about something, we're always going to get a survey, a question back. I mean, that's just so common now. People they're not surprised by it. It doesn't interrupt them. You know, they're just really used to it now. So I wouldn't think twice about it. Also, too, to let everyone know, while Zane was talking, I popped up the chat, the link for the RocketReviews system that he mentioned. That's in our chat group right now, so you can go there and click on that link if you want to learn more about RocketReviews. And one thing that's really cool about RocketReviews is that it does allow you to ask questions or ask for feedback and reviews from your customers. You can do it with a tablet at the checkout at your cash register, like Zane mentioned earlier, is that is an option. Also, too, you can send people emails, you can have QR codes, you can send them texts. It offers all those opportunities, and also does set a reminder of where you can actually remind people if they haven't responded, but you can set the reminder to only happen like once or twice. So for those who have that concern about bothering someone, you know, the reminders, you can set them to stop. It doesn't go on and on and on, but it does automate it for you a little bit. So that link is in the chat box for all those who are interested in checking that out. We have videos and all kinds of information. I suggest you give it a look. It'd be really fun. Next, I have another question. Let's see. What if I'm afraid I'll get bad reviews? I'm afraid I'll get bad reviews. What say you, Zane?
Okay. Bad reviews are going to happen. I think, you know, first off, anybody who looks at a company, you know, if they're researching a business and they see that they have nothing but 5-star reviews, you know, that tends to throw up a red flag for people. And it's like I said before, negative reviews are okay. You know, bad reviews are going to happen from time to time. How you handle those reviews and how you respond to those reviews really determine, you know, kind of, you know, what happens from that point forward. If you ignore it, well, that's just kind of sticking your head in the sand. And, you know, you don't want to do that. And you don't want to come across in your response, you know, being defensive or curt or snippy or, you know, any kind of, you don't want to respond to negativity with negativity. So, you know, like we talked about before about how to respond to negative reviews, you know, be apologetic, you know, try and take the issue offline, offer, you know, give your phone number and say, please, you know, call me at your earliest convenience so we can talk about this, and I can learn more about what happened and what we can do to make sure that this doesn't happen again to you or to others in the future. Because it could very well be, you know, a process, an issue with one of your processes, or, you know, maybe an issue with staff. Especially if you're getting consistent negative reviews that mention somebody in particular. Don't be afraid of negative reviews. Everybody gets negative reviews. Everybody's gonna get. If you haven't gotten one yet, you will.
Yeah.
You will in
Or
the
a fake
future.
review.
Yeah, or fake reviews. But negative reviews are going to happen. How you respond to them is the key. And hopefully I've given you some tools and some tips to help you navigate responding to a negative review better.
Yeah, you absolutely have. Thanks, Zane. And one quick question that I had was, or I just wanted to make sure that we discussed very briefly, is you mentioned earlier leading the witness, and also things to not do as far as incentivizing, a free T-shirt for a review or a coupon for a review or whatever, to not do that, to make them, honest and genuine a review, not incentivize them. What
Right.
happens? What happens if, the almighty Google finds out that you've done that?
You could be gone. Google, they have done it before, and I'm sure they would do it again. They have removed businesses' listings from Google for incentivizing reviews, because not only do consumers and customers look at your reviews, but your competition does too. And especially if and some people are not quite bright enough that they will actually, I've seen where they've put in their response, your gift card is in the mail, or we'll send you an email with a link to your e-gift card. They've actually done that, and you just make it easy for Google to say, poof, you're gone. And they've done that, and they do the same thing for businesses posting fake reviews, trying to boost their review profile by posting bogus reviews from bogus customers. I remember reading once about a law firm that did that, and Google took them down, took their listing off, and I want to say they had hundreds, close to thousands of reviews, been established, been on Google for years, and Google took them down.
Wow.
And if you don't think that your competition has an eye on you and your listing and your reviews, I would beg to say that you're probably wrong. I think they are. And if you're not keeping an eye on your competition and their reviews and how they're doing things, you should, because if nothing else, you probably could learn something about maybe how you should approach certain things or a certain aspect of your business by how they're doing it, and if they're successful, or maybe they did something that's not successful. And you can definitely learn as much from your competition as you can learn from your own experiences with your business.
Right, absolutely. Okay, awesome, Zane. And I appreciate the questions. Those are all great questions and very informative. And we love it when you ask, because someone else may be thinking the same thing and not be, they maybe they're shy and they don't want to ask. So once again, just ask. Okay, awesome. So, and by the way, speaking of just asking, if you've enjoyed this webinar today and found it valuable, I have to just ask myself and practice what we preach here and say, hey, please go to Google and give SEO Rocket a review for the webinar today, and give us some feedback there. We always love hearing that. So we certainly would appreciate you taking the time to do that today or tomorrow. This webinar, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up, but this webinar, if you'd like to revisit it or share it with anyone, it's going to be on our YouTube channel and on our website shortly here. probably about early next week, because it's Good Friday this week, so we'll be closed on Friday, but probably have it up early next week. You can check our social media for an announcement that it's up. And also, while you're on YouTube, go to our channel, click that little bell icon, and so you will be subscribed to our channel and alerted every time one of our webinar videos is posted. So that'll save you some time there, right? Our next webinar, there we go, thank you. Our next webinar is going to be April 28th. And that will be on how to decide whether SEO or PPC is right for you, presented by yours truly. I will be presenting that. So, we're going to go over this. This happens a lot. A lot of times people will think, oh, I need SEO or I need PPC, or maybe you really need the other, or maybe you need both. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of both SEO and PPC, their timelines, their budgets, also to which candid questions you need to ask yourself before considering either strategy, and then also what your site needs to have in place to be prepared to launch each of them. So how do you decide which works for you in your competitive environment? So hint there, it is not always about budget and timeline. It can be about many different things. So please join us on April 28th so we can discuss this, and you can decide, look into this criteria and decide which is the best way for you to invest your time and money there. So awesome. Now I did, oh, by the way, to register for this webinar, go to our website, SEOrocket.com. There's a registration page there. You may be on our mailing list already. If you are, you'll get a mailer about 2 weeks before to let you know, but it's on our website and our social media all the time. So go ahead and register there and save your seat for this, because I think it's going to be really informative. Great stuff here. Also, too, I promised you 2 fun things, 2 offers. SEO Rocket has launched a new service with special pricing through the end of April. So we are now doing advanced SEO audits. These take more time actually than we are willing to admit. So they're very in-depth and full of actionable information for you. We go through 100+ point SEO site audit. It's always performed by one of our experts, like Zane here. He would be one of the people that are doing these, along with Darren and Tom. And also includes that, an executive summary of the findings that, of course, you get to keep, and looking at the critical issues affecting your SEO and your performance. And then a 1-hour call with the actual person who did your audit to go through all of that and explain it to you. So you'll have that consultation with that SEO specialist regarding the findings and the key recommendations from that. So that is a special. We're doing 20% off through April 30th. And actually, you're hearing it here first. We haven't told anyone about it yet. You can go to our website and check it out. I'll put that link in the chat here in just a second. And then also, too, we talked today about your reviews being a crucial part of your Google My Business listings. Well, guess what? The rest of your Google My Business profile needs to be stellar also. So we are offering a Google My Business optimization checklist, and this is totally free, absolutely free. You can go to our site, you can download it. It's a $300 value. I'm going to pop that link up here in the chat too in just a second. But anyway, that is just a thank you that we're giving to you. As being a friend of ours, attending our webinars, coming to our site. It's totally free. You can share it with people too, send them that link as well. So I'm gonna pop that up. I should have done it earlier, but I was waiting for us to discuss it first. So sorry about that. But you can go to our site and see that. Here, let's put it up right now. Here's the advanced SEO audit in the chat, coming to you. There you go. And our Google My Business optimization checklist, I'm putting that up here for you too right now. So there's some resources for you. That Google My Business optimization checklist is awesome. Zane put it together actually based on another webinar that he did on Google My Business for a business organization here locally. So we've taken that and made an optimization checklist for you. So please take advantage of that. I want to thank you all for your time today. I really appreciate you joining. We love it when you do, and we love when you ask questions. So check out those links in the chat box. We hope to see you again at the end of April on the 28th to talk about SEO and PPC and the pros and cons of each. So I will see you then. For now, thank you so much, and we will see you in the month. We are letting you go to lunch. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.